In this week's video, we're covering the digital ID,
EHRC guidance, push for parliamentary debate,
and solidarity against the far right.
Hello! Hello everyone.
Hello. What a week it's been.
Wow.
It was my birthday yesterday.
It's non-stop. Happy birthday again.
Yeah. Well, my birthday yesterday for us, and probably, well, maybe we'll get it out before like 8 o'clock tonight, and then it'll be yesterday for everybody else as well. But yeah. Anyway, it was my birthday yesterday.
Yay! Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you very
birthday
much.
to wonderful Heather.
It was very good, and we had lots of fun.
It was amazing.
And it was very rubbish to go back to work this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want to go back to work, so for me.
So what's the scary trans people going to talk to our viewers about tonight?
What the scary trans people are going to talk about tonight? There's really three big things I think that have happened in the last week. So we've had, I think just yesterday, Keir Starmer was like, "I'm going to have a digital ID that everybody has to have." I think that's like the first thing we'll talk about.
Yeah, I mean, digital ID is big. Even those on the right of the political spectrum don't like it. Even they are fuming about it.
There was a petition. It was rumoured that there was going to be a digital ID, and somebody started a petition against it. And it was, slow as these petitions are.
Yeah, just plodding along.
I think it got like something like 50,000 signatures before yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I signed it when it first came.
Yeah, exactly. It was just the activists like us,
the hardcore team.
And then literally overnight, it's now at one. I checked when I wrote the notes for this thing, and I put over 1 million. It's I think over 1,100,000 signatures. At one point today, it was going up at 50,000 signatures an hour.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
That's insane.
I've seen big petitions like the EU petitions. If you remember the ones against the proroguing of Parliament and the ones against all the crap that the Tories were pushing through. Those were big petitions, but they did not get that big that quickly.
No, just the sheer speed of it.
Yeah.
We're going to be a record breaker here, I think.
Yeah.
It's incredible the rate this is gaining signatures.
So I wanted to add this because I wanted to talk about this in terms of what I think about it. And I would be interested to hear if you have like the same view, similar views, or whatever. So I'm not against the digital ID, but there are things about the proposal that really, really worry me. So I'm not against the digital. When I worked for council, we created a digital ID for people in our council area. But there were two main differences between what Keir Starmer was proposing and what we implemented. So I remember it vividly. The day that our manager came in and said, "Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to implement the digital ID." There was 3 or 4 developers in the room, and so the presentation went on and stuff, and then it's like, any questions? And like a couple of us raised their hands. I think 3 of us raised their hands, and manager pointed to the first person who was there first and said, "Okay, what's your question?" And it was like, okay, well, how do we make sure that we don't exclude people? Because like a lot of we live in quite a rural. We had quite a rural population, how
in Aberdeenshire.
Yeah, in Aberdeenshire. I was avoiding saying which council it was for reasons, but
sorry,
it's known. It's known anyway.
I see.
Yeah, but we have quite a rural population, so it's like, okay, well, what, how do we make sure we include them? Older people without access to internet. We don't want to have services which we end up yes, it's cheaper to do things online than it is to do them via a call centre, absolutely. But just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's better, and it doesn't mean it's worse. What it means is it's another option that can save the council or the government or whatever money, but it's not. The most important thing is not saving money. The most important thing is providing services to people in the council area or whatever. And that's basically what all three of us had exactly the same question. It was like, how do we make sure we don't exclude people? And the manager in question turned around and said, don't worry, peeps. We had exactly the same conversation. This is not about excluding people. This is not about. This is about reducing costs, but it's not about cost cutting in a traditional. We don't want to include people. We'll make people struggle to save us money. No, it's about providing a second way of people contacting and using council services, which also happens to save the council some money doing that. So we prefer people to do that. But but if they can't or they just don't want to, they can continue to use the old system. All right. What Kidstarter and co are calling for or proposing is not that, because it's mandatory. Yeah. So how do you stop people? How do you make it so that somebody who is unemployed or not even unemployed, homeless, you haven't got a roof over your head, you're not going to be affording a mobile phone, right? You're not going to, well, if you are affording a mobile phone because you need one to get work, the mobile phone you're going to get is like the campaign phone we got you, like £10, not a smartphone, just a dumb phone, here's a phone number, top it up once every 30 days, whenever the credit runs out or whatever, and it's used to call for jobs or whatever you need to call for. That's it. It won't be a smartphone that you end up with, that you want. So how are you not going to exclude those people by having a digital ID? Also, one of the benefits in having a non-mandatory system, an optional system, is that it pushes you as the people providing that service to give something. There has to be a reason that people download the app and install it and use it.
Incentive.
Yeah, exactly. If we remember back in COVID times, there was that COVID app, and you could. The incentive was you wanted to be a good member of society and reduce the spread of COVID. That was a great reason to download the app, and I downloaded it for that reason.
Same.
What is the reason for people to want to download it? To me, it seems that the only reason to make it mandatory is because you're not going to add any value to it. You're not going to make anything better for people by doing this. You're just going to make it more difficult and more painful for people. That's why you have to. That's why you're forcing it to be mandatory. It's it's not a good start.
Not at all. So you got more to add?
I could rant about this for a long time. It's about IT. I can rant about it forever.
It's your special interest.
but also, I mean, so I don't particularly trust this government with. This government is anti-trans and anti-immigrant and anti-minority. Yeah, and it would have killed me a few years ago to say this about a Labour government, but we have a Labour government that is anti-minority.
Very much so.
And they want to force us to hand over our data to them. That does not fill me with confidence as to what they're going to use that data for. You know, like, we're not far off concentration camps for trans people in the US at the minute. You know, you've got anti-fascist action being made, called a terrorist organisation. You've got people on the right in the US calling for trans people in general, all trans people, to be defined as terrorists
and to be
institutionalized. I don't trust that the UK government in 5 years isn't going to do the same kind of thing.
Probably less than 5 years. The rate it's
going.
I
know. It's just like it's insane. I don't know that we as a community want to risk that. To be completely honest with you, I mean, you know, there was people have said, or people have already questioned, do I get a GRC at the minute? Right? Because, not because of the paperwork involved in it, but because they don't want to be on a list held by the government of trans people. I don't trust this government not to use that list for malicious use, and not to be malicious in the way they use the data that they collect for a national ID. I mean, what's your thoughts? I just ranted for 10 minutes. It's probably the longest I've ever ranted on this channel.
No, you raised some really good points, and the biggest fear for me is that it's being used as a cudgel to persecute minorities, in particular immigrants who are coming to the UK fleeing persecution from abroad, and also being used to out trans people, potentially if it's based around sex, if they use sex as one of the identifiers rather than gender. Now, this is a huge fear amongst the trans community, and it's a legitimate fear, a valid fear, because you have organisations like Sex Matters. You've had Mea Forstater saying,
who obviously have links in the government, considering that the government is refusing to answer the FOI calls about meetings between Sex Matters, and LGBT Alliance, and
they're already demanding that it be sex-based ID markers. So it would have your name, date of birth, and also what sex you are, along with other things.
How would they get that information? Because although I don't have a GRC, so I haven't changed my birth certificate, my NHS records say female, my driving license says female, my bank details say female, all of the rest of the paperwork I have, my passport says female. How would they note me other than female?
I'm not really sure. They might just note you as female because of your CHI number, possibly. But don't quote me on that. No, I don't know what metric they'll use.
As Queerharmer said, it's open to a consultation. There will be a consultation, which of course
it's a good question to ask.
Yeah,
when it goes to public consultation.
As I said, it's like there'll be a consultation. So we all know what that means is that like every IT bod and every like human rights bod and every social justice bod will go in and say these are the issues with it, and the government will completely ignore it. and then implement it as they want to implement it, and it'll be a shit show.
And it'll also mean that it'll be open to trans folks to get their 2 cents in as well. And believe me, they will. And all of them will. And they'll be demanding, making threats of legal action, most likely, if they don't make it to do with your sex.
Oh, they always threaten legal action for everything because they've got TFC in there, billions.
And that's the thing. They'll try and strong arm the government.
Edinburgh's Elon Musk.
Just like they have done with the Supreme Court ruling at Edinburgh. What did you say? Edinburgh's Elon Musk.
Yeah, Edinburgh's Elon Musk. Yeah.
So yeah,
TFC.
I am against mandatory digital ID because I feel it will target the most vulnerable and most marginalised in society, target them unfairly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it will. Why make it mandatory if it's not going to affect? If it's not going to penalise people?
I'm very happy to see the high numbers of signatures on that parliamentary petition.
We just have to change that into action.
So speaking of EHRC guidance.
Nice segue.
Yeah.
Well, we weren't talking about that, but talking about action.
Speaking of all things government, and well, I did allude to the EHRC in the Supreme Court, so kind of bit of a sloppy segue, but segue nonetheless.
A sloppy what?
Segue.
Oh, okay, that's okay. Not what I thought you said for a second.
So EHRC guidance push for parliamentary debate. So we want parliamentary debate because it's essential that it be voiced. It's essential that we get to have our say. We get to lobby our MPs to be our voice in Parliament. And
well, they are our voice in Parliament, but if they don't know, then if they're not able to say, then they can't effectively be our voice.
Yeah, we want there to be a debate because then it puts it out into the open. It puts all our concerns, which are massive concerns, out into the open. We, as a trans community, want it to be scrapped, basically. We want the EHRC Code of Conduct to be scrapped.
The EHRC being scrapped, to be honest.
Yeah, we want the EHRC to be scrapped, and we also want the government to put in provisions, to put in a bill or something to prevent harm that's been caused to our community by the Supreme Court ruling.
Well, there is. I mean, the European, the Human Rights Act is supposed to protect us from BS like this. But nobody bothered to apply the law to actually, like the Supreme Court.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the thing with the human rights in Europe. It's only as strong as they're willing to act on it. And you're right, in this case they've not acted. They have said some stern words, like the UN and people from the UN and people from Europe have said strong words and sent letters. But
this is right. Okay, Europe really, really needs to, like, for lack of a better phrase, man up. Yeah. I know that's a sexist phrase, really, and not a good thing, because it's not just men who need to toughen up. But
you mean a bit more forthright, a bit stronger,
but a lot stronger. Yeah. I mean, not just in this, but also in against Russia. I mean, like, I was chatting to someone on Blue Sky, and they were like, "Oh, the only way you deal with a bully is like you
show of force."
Yeah, you can't, like, if you acquiesce to a bully, then they just take more and more and more.
like transphobes do.
Yeah, exactly. The only way to beat a bully is to like give them a punch.
Pretty much.
And hope that you'll only have to punch them once and as little as possible.
We're not condoning violence
I
against
am.
transphobes.
I don't know. I am. So right, no, like this. I was going to talk about Karl Popper. I was going to talk about poppers, but I couldn't find me little pop. So.
But we're not telling anyone to
punch people. No.
No.
But yeah. Okay. So let me just like get lost in my little go off and off piece. but transphobes and far right extremists like Charlie Kirk. There's a saying that's attributed to, that comes from Karl Popper's work, which is paradox of tolerance, which is that if you tolerate intolerance, then that takes over and you no longer have a tolerant society. It's a little bit more complex than that, because, and it's a lot more nuanced. But the idea is basically that if you allow people with views that if you allow people to have power with views where they want to limit other people's views, then you lose the ability to have an open society. And so, in terms of transphobes, 5 years ago, transphobes did not have any power. Yeah, so physically restraining them was not like, why the hell would you want to do that? Yeah, they don't have any power. They can't do anything. Now they have the media. Now they have the police. Now they have
Supreme Court.
Politics. Politicians. All three of those, and they are against an open society. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's time to rethink a non-violent approach. And I agree. I'm not advocating going around punching transphobes. That's not helpful. But I would advocate for protection, for people protecting themselves. I would advocate for people to shout and yell at transphobes and stop them lobby in Parliament and do everything like that. Short of violence, because you shouldn't have violence, but so people say, oh, we're not advocating, we don't support violence in any form, but they're lying, because we all support the police to do something. I mean, not everybody, but we support the police to, if there was a child murderer running around the streets, you would hope the police would grab them and lock them up. That is a form of violence against that person. It's a completely justified and legitimate form of violence, because that person's actions are going to cause much more damage to society than locking them up will do. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So so people do support violence. They just don't want to think of themselves as somebody who supports a violent act. And Glenna decided to take a couple of our videos and mash them together out of context.
Oh yes.
And this really.
Or one of Glenna's lackeys.
One of his minions. Yeah. And I haven't written it on the list here, but I will link to Glenna's Substack with that video in, and because I'm speak your words, Glenna. I'd want him to come on here. I would support him.
Yes, Glenna, we invite you
We know you
our
hate
show.
watchers.
Yeah.
We know you hate watchers. Come on, come on to the show. Here are the rules. You get to pick the topic. We get 3 minutes each, no interruptions, and then 2 minutes to reply, no interruptions, and that's it. And I can guarantee he will not support that. He will not want to come on because he's a bully. And bullies do not like fair debate.
No, I'm just.
Oh, sorry. You're looking over there. I'm worried that something's going on that I need to be aware of.
No, I'm just listening.
Bullies do not like fair debate. They want to interrupt. They want to interject and prevent somebody from speaking. They just pretend that
they want to berate and rant, essentially.
Yeah, they don't actually want to discuss a subject and topic. They want to go on and go, you're a paedophile for 3 minutes.
Yeah, they don't want a civilized debate discussion, a turn-based discussion. They want, they just want to come on and scream abuse and shout their what do you call them? Their thought terminating cliches at people to try and sort of just strong arm their way through the so-called debate.
Yeah. And so that's why
straw manning the whole thing.
Yeah. I'm more than willing to debate Graham, as long as it's a debate and it's not Graham just ranting at people.
Yeah, as long as it's not just Graham sort of filibustering the whole thing and showboating about how great he is and how awful trans people are. Yeah, it has to be a proper debate with proper discourse, not just personal diatribes, personal attacks.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was a completely off-topic thing.
No, you did mention that you wanted to bring that up.
Yes.
And thank you. And my take is that yes, we shouldn't condone violence, but we should still resist, and that means that non-compliance can mean that if someone is asking you to leave a single-sex space, such as swimming pool, you just lay flat on the ground and refuse to move.
It depends how comfortable you feel in the circumstances.
Well, there is that too, but it's that not obeying in advance. It's that being a nuisance, being not letting them have it easy, and not being afraid to call them out and shut them down, and stand up to them, because it has gone past the whole. I know we were asking for a civil debate there, but in many circumstances, it has gone past that.
We're asking for a civil debate because, in a way, we know we won't get one because they're bullies.
Yeah.
And the reason it's gone past one is because we haven't had a civil debate.
No, we don't get civil debates. We just get these transphobes just shouting about their opinions.
Yeah.
Usually, very rarely backed up by facts, and just shouting, shouting abuse.
Yeah. There was a transphobe in the comments who was like, when we were talking about prisons, and they're like, well, what do you think about this? And I was like, well, I think we should listen to the experts who know the situation. No, but what do you think? What do you think? And I'm like,
it's antagonistic.
Yeah, you want me to say that in a particular scenario, the trans woman should be inside the prison or not in men's prison or women's prison, and it's like I can't answer that question because your hypothetical scenario doesn't have enough information.
Yeah, and they love living in the hypothetical. They always accuse us of being science deniers, but it's actually
That's
them.
ridiculous.
Yeah. It's always them who deny like scientific reasoning. They always go for conjecture, and they always hype up and things to fever pitch.
Mm-hmm.
They love to hype up something that's quite benign, such as a trans person using a toilet. They love to hype it up, and they do that
Or a trans person going for a bra fitting.
Yeah, they do that by making up these stories about, oh, I made my daughter feel so unsafe, but is she feeling unsafe, or is that just you putting that into her mouth, and those words into her mouth, and you trying to sensationalize it and trying to make it what is a non-issue into an issue because you want to portray the trans person as the baddie.
This and you know, this video here will be taken, and they will take the bit of me saying that violence that there is a place for violence. Out of context. They will not take it as a conversation about prisons and about police or about self-defense. They will say, oh, Heather's calling for violence because she's an evil trans woman.
They always do that. No matter what we do, they will always find a way to spin our rationale, our reasoned discussion into us being unreasonable. But it's them that are unreasonable, because right now, if Glenner doesn't accept to come on to debate us, and the reason he doesn't accept that is because he doesn't accept our conditions, that's him being unreasonable. But he'll never admit to that. It's always us that are unreasonable. Yeah, we are always reasonable. We are always the ones that are out there educating and telling people what we're all about.
And just existing.
Yeah, we're just existing, and it's exhausting. And they're the antagonists. They're the ones that are stirring up the hate. They're the ones that are fabricating all of this just so they can have their own way, which is to eliminate us from society. They're not interested in women's rights. They are not interested in campaigning for any of that. If they were, they would be doing it 24/7 instead of being online ranting about trans people 24/7.
If they were, they would be campaigning against 40 days for life, rather than avidly supporting one of the main supporters of it in Charlie Kirk.
And a lot of these people who fund their bigotry against trans people are all, like the Heritage Foundation, are also extremely anti-abortionist. And so they're getting money, and they're being backed by some really disgusting people who are racist, who are xenophobic, who are anti-abortion, and they're just all sorts of nasty.
Can I move us on to the last topic?
Please do.
Because that's a perfect segue.
Did I do good?
You did good.
Aww,
so
thanks for the compliment.
I have a little video to show people that I took from.
It's a good one. This.
Yeah, from a guy called Political Custard.
Thank you, Political Custard.
Thank you, and thank you for the permission to use the video. If you're mad enough to have got 30 odd minutes through our video.
And check out Political Custard YouTube channel.
I'll stick a link in there. And I'll stick a link to what have I said I was going to stick a link to?
Links to add.
Oh, yeah. The petition, if you want to sign it and you haven't signed that, the anti-digital ID petition. A little app that I wrote to email your MP about the EHRC really guidelines, which we didn't mention because I took us off topic, badly off topic.
Well, it's okay. Well, but essentially, email your MP using this app, which Heather will link to, and it basically asking for them to have a parliamentary debate about the code of practice.
Asking your MP to ask the Women's and Equality Minister for it, because the MPs themselves can't demand it.
No.
It has to go, it has to be done through the Women's Equality Minister.
They can request it from them.
And especially if the more, even if you're like an editorial reform, they're not going to support us, but they might have a dig at Labour.
Yeah, yeah, it's always worth a try. It doesn't hurt to send, and you've already got the template.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. It's literally you just have to log in. You have to sign.
Yeah, on you go.
Oh, sorry. You have to sign up because, the email that you send out has to have certain information in there, like your name, your address, and we use your postcode to figure out what MP you have. And other bits and pieces like that.
It's all kept secure.
But it's all kept secure and safe. And my information's in there. Sophie's information. Well, we live together, so it's the same information basically. But my information's in there.
Different names.
My friends are information in there. We keep it safe. Just.
Send emails and share it to other people, encourage them to do the same, especially cis people. And Political Custard's YouTube channel.
Yeah. So let me just do this so I can actually find the place to do the video. So I'm going to put in a little cut of Political Custard's video in here.
But at this point, I'd like to add something. I believe that there's a lot of people out there on the edge, finding life hard as there's less safety nets, no community, fighting to stay in work, so that they're scared, and anger is a good release for anxiety and fear. All some irresponsible politician has to do is point out a scapegoat, and it's like painting a target on the minorities' backs, whether that's Muslims, asylum seekers, or trans people. Click.
Okay, so hopefully you're back, and hopefully it all worked seamlessly, and I didn't mess up the thing.
Like and subscribe.
Oh yes. Please like and subscribe.
We got the new animation.
No, we haven't got the new animation because I've not gone around to doing it yet. No.
Still be the old ninja animation.
Be the old ninja still.
But a new one's coming up soon.
A new one hopefully will be coming up soon.
It's in the works.
Yeah. So I thought this video was, I was watching this YouTube in general, and the lefty videos come up that I watch.
Love those lefty videos.
And
all those Antifa videos.
this video really, I wanted to highlight it to people because it's very easy. So there's a number of things. Firstly, it's incredibly easy to think that we're all alone and that nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a hoot.
Nobody gives a hoot. I'm trying to lower the amount of swearing I do. I used to be really good. I used to never swear at all.
Tough times.
And then the Labour Party. It's very easy to get sucked into a downward spiral of everybody hates us. Nothing's going to change. It's only ever going to get worse. Especially if you spend any sort of time on social media.
Doom scrolling away.
It's always bad news. I wanted to highlight this because Political Custard isn't. I assume cis just because of the voice and because of numbers. You're more likely to be cis.
Yeah. Statistically speaking, yeah. And
I don't have any information otherwise. And that's part of it. I don't have any information otherwise. The person who runs Political Custard has never put their pronouns anywhere that I'm aware of. They don't make overtly pro-trans videos. They don't do anything like that. But to have somebody like that come out and say they're attacking trans people, they're attacking immigrants, they're attacking people of different faiths, and to acknowledge that we're attacked as much as those other groups,
powerful.
is is really nice and really powerful, and it means that we have allies out there.
We have solidarity.
We have real allies out there, and not allies. There are allies who. There's like the guy in the pub who's like a drunken fool and like everybody's friend, and you don't necessarily think of them as an ally, and then suddenly somebody says something and they turn around and they stick up for you, and you're like, whoa, okay, well, thank you. That's the kind of allies we have. We have hidden allies like that.
Ones you don't expect.
Ones you don't expect. Ones you don't necessarily know. Not necessarily know our allies. So all is not lost.
Absolutely. And thank you again for that, Custard.
Yeah. Thank you again. And also the second point I wanted to say was he's absolutely right. We are all attacked, and we are all attacked by the same people, which means that you can't be, in the same way that you can't be a feminist and attack trans people, because if you're attacking trans women, you are also attacking cis women.
Undermines your feminist ethos.
You can't be a supporter of, say, Palestine and attack trans people, because the two groups are so linked that to attack trans people is to attack the Palestinian community, immigrants, all of these people of color. All of these groups are so linked together. Our attackers are the same people. So by siding with an attacker, you're undermining your own position.
Yeah, you can't support one bigotry and then advocate to denounce another bigotry.
Yeah. But we have allies, and
that's great to hear.
And so we as a community, I think, need to visibly support other communities in peril. In peril.
Yeah, like the Islamic community.
Like the Islamic community,
the Palestinian community.
Immigrants,
Sikh community, which doesn't get mentioned much.
No. We need to support those communities, because
disabled community.
Those communities need to support us.
Need that solidarity, real solidarity, real strong solidarity. The stuff that Pete Seeger sung about, solidarity forever. Still such a good song.
It's still such a good song. I used one of Pete Seeger's songs in a video, in a short. It's probably still on the channel.
A singer-songwriter, protest singer, in case you wonder.
It got the. I think I used like "There Is Power in a Union." I think.
Or which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Yeah. Which side are you on?
I like that one.
Yeah, and I got a copyright strike against it because Sony Pictures went, "Oh, you're using our music," and I felt Pete would be proud of me.
Absolutely, you're a hero, working class hero.
I think that's all we've got for this week. Is there anything else you want to?
That's it. Just take care of yourselves.
Just a piece of personal news. I now have a little stick that I walk with occasionally.
I'm glad, because it'll help you.
I've been, for those who know me away from keyboard, you'll know that my health has been going downhill, and my ability to walk. Well, not my ability to walk, but I'm wobble. I'm more wobbly than.
You have mobility issues.
Yeah, I'm more wobbly than Trump was on the red carpet. He's like that. I'm like that as well. And I've got an excuse.
Nah, you do.
But yeah, so we were actually coming back from one of the hospital things, and some guy walked up and said like, "Oh, are you drunk?" And I'm like, that was the sort of turning point in like, I do have mobility issues, But you suggested this yesterday
It's cute.
on my birthday. It's like,
Yeah.
hi, happy birthday. Have a stick to walk with because you're old and decrepit.
No, because it's lovely and it will help you.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. But it's not about being old and decrepit. It's about acknowledging what you can and can't do.
Plus you get to, absolutely. Plus you get to point it.
Plus I get to go like this and say, yay, young people.
You can have so much fun doing that.
I've already had fun doing that. I've done it to you and I've done it to Tabby as well. Do it to you, Smudge, as well.
Young person, well, young kitty cat.
Smudge the cat. Oh, I love you. And I love Smudgy too.
Yeah.
So have a great week, everyone.
Have a great
Thanks
week.
for joining us again on our sofa.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on Saturday. If you're not a TERF and want to come on and just have a free-form chat about stuff, please do. Please let us know. Drop us a
Very
note.
welcome here.
Yeah. Either if you're physically able to get up into Aberdeen, either in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
we can't put you up, but we can like let you into the house.
Yeah.
Looking around, going like, maybe we need to tidy first.
but or online, remotely.
Yeah.
There's a will, there's a way.
Whatever. If you want to come on, that's perfect.
We'd love you.
Yeah.
We'd love that, and Smudge will too.
Smudge will too.
Oh,
As long as you are not allergic to cats.
that's true.
Yeah.
Because we have a cat called Smudge. But anyway, have a good week. Look after each other, and thanks again for watching. Love to you all.
Love to you all. Bye.
Bye.
And stop.